Now we're on the putting green, and we're going to discuss some of the fundamentals of putting. The first thing about putting is that when we look at our students on a week-to-week basis at the school, is they do not have a good enough sense of touch. There's two things you're trying to do in putting. You're trying to control the distance and you're trying to control the direction. Most of our students that we see on a week-to-week basis cannot control the distance. You're much more likely to three-putt from in control of your distance, in other words, hitting the ball 5 feet short or 10 feet long, than you are by direction. You're not going to miss your direction by usually more than 5 feet. So the three putts we see amongst our students are from inability to control the distance. So what do you want to do to control your distance? Well, you have to learn to have a rhythmical stroke so the rhythm of your stroke is consistent. You should have a count to your swing much like a metronome, back and through, 1, 2. You want the putter to move freely with your arms and shoulders, providing the majority of the work. You're not trying to move your lower body or your head. What we try to do is visualize that the lower body stays still and from the neck up stays still. So the shoulders and arms are providing the majority of the work. So if you're out on the putting green, you want to practice your distance, some of the drills you can do is put a tee out at 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, and 25 feet. Putt to the 10-foot tee, 15 foot, 20 and 25. Try to get the ball as close to that tee obviously as you can, and then switch the tees. So all of a sudden you'll putt to the 25, then the 10. So you keep varying the distance you hit it. A drill that Phil Mickelson uses to practice his distance is he puts the tee out at 10 feet and 20 feet. What he does with his first ball is he tries to get it as close to the first tee, but it has to get to the tee. So if the tee is my fist, it's got to get past that ball, that tee. His next putt has to go farther than the first putt. And as he tries to do is keep going farther each putt until he can get as many balls between the 10 and 20 foot tees as he possibly can. When you first try this drill, you may find you only get 2 or 3 balls in between the tees. I've seen him do it where he's got 9 balls in between. If you leave a ball short of the ball you just hit, you got to start all over. So what we're trying to do is get a real good sense of the rhythm and the stroke so we can control our distance. As we stand up to the ball, we need to place our grip on the club properly. The standard grip that we would see in most players is that the thumbs would be pretty much down the grip and the palms pretty much opposing each other. So the right palm would be pointing to the target and the back of the left hand would be pointing to the target. This would be called a fairly neutral grip for the putter. We'll see some variations on this amongst players, but what we'll do is we'll see a consistency in how they have variations. If it's somebody like Retief Goosen, he'll turn his left hand more under. Well, if you turn the left hand under, you've also got to turn the right hand under. So you have to make them equal. So the palms are now facing more to the sky than to the side. If somebody wants to go the other way with the left hand over, more like a Brad Faxon, he's a little bit more over, then his right hand goes a little bit more over. So you're going to make them neutral. You don't want to have one hand under like the left hand and this one over. That will not work. So the neutral, common grip, opposing more with the palms to the sky are probably your 2 biggest variations on the tour. Some players, as I said, Faxon gets a little bit more over in his grip. When you're placing your hands on the club, majority of the players are going to have what's called reverse overlap with the forefinger of the left hand on the pinky finger of the right. Your conventional grip would be the pinky finger of your right on top of your forefinger on your left. So it's more of a reverse overlap. If you watch the tour players now, you see a lot of other players going to the claw. They put their hand like this. Really, these are different variations. We're not changing the stroke with those grips. We're basically still trying to get the stroke to be rhythmical and control the distance. So the shoulders and arms are providing the majority of the power. We place the ball in our stance. The ball should be just ahead of our nose. So as I'm standing up to hit a putt, I want my nose to be just behind the ball. A simple drill you can do for that is just take a golf ball and drop it off your nose and see where it hits on the ground. The ball should be about 1 inch forward of where that spot is. The reason for that is we want to make sure we hit the ball with a slightly upward motion of the club head. We don't want to be hitting down. If we hit too much down on the ball, it's not going to roll properly. It should be on a slightly uphill, upward movement to the ball, gets the ball rolling better end over end. Weight distribution, pretty much equal. The more you're going to put your weight on your left side, the more it's going to move your head forward. So if you have weight distribution that you feel more comfortable with on your left side, you're gonna have to move the ball farther forward in your stance. If you want your weight to be more back, you gotta move the ball farther back because it's gonna be reflective on, again, where the nose is. The width of stance is individual. Want to set up to the putt, grip pressure nice and light, arm pressure light. We're trying to feel the rhythm of the stroke that we're going to need to make the putt go the distance desired. And try to keep repeating that rhythm each time we stroke. Once you can find a consistent rhythm, it's going to work on your 5-footers or 50-footers.
You're watching Vegas Sports.